Hey, what's up YouTube world? It's Ryan from Riding in Style. And today is the day I am going to be installing the oil catch can. And so I'm going to bring you along with me on this journey and we will see how it goes. So as you can see, I have the catch can here. I took it apart just to make sure, did a quick inspection. And it's really nice. I mean, it's really good quality. I know I've mentioned that in my last video. These are not solid metal. They feel like aluminum, but they're also anodized, so they have that really nice finish. With the brass fittings here, one 7-inch hose, one, I believe this is a 13-inch hose. And again, this is for the 5.7 liter Hemi installation. I do have the engine half covers, but this is just a 5.7 liter Hemi. And as you can see, this is what prevents the passenger side half cover from laying flush, is this hose here. So putting in the catch can and rerouting these hoses will help. So the first step is, of course, to remove the passenger side half cover. And a few tools you're going to need is a flathead screwdriver, and this will be to help you pry some of the hoses loose. And this is a 13mm ratchet. Now I want to show you right over here for the 5.7 Hemi. This will need to be removed. And as you can see, there's a plastic clip in there that you can use your screwdriver flathead to pry out. You'll need that hole to put this bolt in later. So once again, it's right in there. That will need to be removed. So I pried it open out with the flathead, and there you go. It just pops right out. And that's the the hole you're going to use for the bolt to mount your catch can with the Z bracket too. As you can see, I do have the Z bracket. If you go ahead and order your catch can without the Z bracket, then you're actually going to mount it right here. Next step is to remove the current hose and reroute those fittings. This is also where you can use a flathead screwdriver just to get it started, and then once it gets started, it'll come out. Same with this side. You might want to just use a flathead, get it started, and there it is, comes out. Now this rubber piece here, as well as this 45-degree rubber piece here, you will need to reuse. So I took off the two rubber ends that'll need to be reused, and this is the stock hose that you will no longer need. And the next step here is I'm just putting the Z bracket into that hole that we made earlier with the bolt and the locking washer. And not going to make it too tight, just going to get it enough where it can stand on its own. And now I'm just putting the rubber fittings back on. Now for this 45-degree angle, one side is longer than the other, so I'm going to just try it out and see which way would be better, with the long side on and the short side sticking this way, or maybe reversing it like this just to see which side fits better. Probably going to angle it slightly upwards and then put the brass fittings on the inside. It's trial and error. It's what we do. We figure it out, and then when it's your turn, you can use this video as a reference to help you along your way. Now before I connect the hoses to the catch can, I'm going to use my 13mm ratchet and go ahead and tighten that bolt on the bottom there and get this exactly where we want it. Make sure it's level. It has kind of a unique angle with the Z bracket, so I just grabbed my fitting that allows it to be put in at an angle and tighten that way. Made it a little easier. You could probably get away with a straight attachment to your ratchet, because the Z bracket will stick out and it'll limit your ratchet range of motion there. But now we kind of got it where we want it. It's not too tight, but tight enough where it won't move. Let's install the hoses. So I went with the color matched hose fittings here, and as you can see, one side is wider than the other, so the holes will go in on this end, and this will be the part that connects to the fitting on all four ends. And this is just to clean up the look here at the end of the hoses. That's an added expense, but you know, you're already investing so much in making your car look nice. I just thought this was a nice touch. So we'll see. And there it is, guys. There is the oil catch can in the anodized red. Put a little plug in there for Billet technology, and it is a great investment for your vehicle. For what it's designed to do is to basically remove some of the old oil and particles and prevent it from being recirculated back into your engine. So it's not just for looks. It's actually a very practical, and I'll even dare to call it a performance mod. I'm just adding my little level here to make sure that it's straight before I go ahead and give it a final tighten. And there we go. Final tighten in place. And for those of you that was wondering, I did add a black plastic plug to cover up this hole. There was a few comments about my air intake video asking what I did about the hose that's supposed to go here, because I ended up rerouting it to this breather filter here. So yes, this was wide open, and thank you to eUnit08 for pointing that out to me. It caused me to go back and look, and I actually ordered a black plug for that. I did add 3M adhesive under here on this part here, because it only comes with 3 blocks there, but it wasn't enough to keep it onto the engine. So there was one time I looked and it was loose. So I ended up reapplying tape to make it stronger. I'm probably going to end up putting some 3M tape here. It does have the locking screw on the back, the tension screw there, but someone brought up a good point that you could take your car to a dealership for service or whatever, and then they might take that. But then again, they could take anything. So this is some of the Billet Tech add-ons that we just put on recently. And this was the last one today. Now I'm going to put on the engine cover and see if that rerouted hose helps this cover sit more flush. There it is, and it does make a huge difference in terms of the fitment of the passenger side half engine cover. And Rated PG Charger did an installation video not too long ago on his catch can, and he did say if you're going to use the Z bracket, the stock Hemi cover, yes, this, y'all remember this big guy here? Yeah, if you're going to use a Z bracket, this cover will not work because the catch can sits right under there. So then you'll have to use that option right there. But if you decide to go the half cover routes, I think it was made for this. You probably would prefer to go with the Z bracket. Again, this is a 5.7 liter 345 Hemi. So that's the finished product. Just got to say thank you all for continuing to follow me on this journey. I think the engine bay is just about complete. I mean, there's probably some minor cosmetic things that we could do down the road, but aside from a supercharger, I think we're just about there. Once again, this is Ryan from Riding in Style.